Thank you for the introduction. It's always a pleasure to connect with industry, old friends, and at this AUSA Winter Symposium. It's a great change of venue from Florida down to Huntsville, where there's a large Army presence and where two of my PEOs reside. So I'm actually delighted to be here. Last year, I spoke at this forum about the challenges of Army equipment modernization in the face of fiscal uncertainty. I touched on the importance of science and technology and want to expand upon that this year. It fits perfectly with the conference theme, America's Army, Sustaining, Training, and Equipping for the Future. I will expand on how the Army is managing modernization in a constrained fiscal environment and our strategy on leveraging the current drawdown to plant the seeds for the Army of the future. The defense spending naturally increases during wartime. As a percentage of federal budget, the defense spending peaked at 49% during the Vietnam era and 30% during the Cold War. Each period of growth was followed by a period of significant decreases. Defense spending fell 51% following the Korean War and 25% after the Vietnam War. In 1993, following the collapse of the Soviet Union and successful completion of Desert Storm, defense spending dropped to 22% and ultimately fell to just 17% of the federal budget by 1999. As we draw down in Afghanistan, we can expect our budget to continue to decline. Since the height of FY 2010, we have already experienced a 21% decline. This brings me to an important point. There's a saying that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. When we come to the next contingency, we realize that the best time for us to have planted our seed was at the end of the last conflict. And that's exactly where we are today, at the tail end of a conflict. We're in a period of planting seeds that will sprout for the next contingency, whatever it may be. The best example of this may be the end of a Vietnam conflict. That period saw an initial investment in the Abrams tank, the Bradley fighting vehicle, the Black Hawk utility helicopter, the Apache attack helicopter, and the Patriot surface-to-air missile system. These were the key systems, weapon systems that ensured the Army's victory in the Desert Storm. We still have all of them with us today. These capabilities enabled the 100-hour victory. They began as investments during a period of declining resources. So I want to take a moment to applaud the budget compromise reached in Washington at the end of last year, mitigating the impact of sequestration for FY 14 and 15. The $22.5 billion for DoD in FY 14 will help us to buy back some readiness, a little bit of modernization, and some maintenance efforts. The challenge is that the deal is only for 2 years, 14 and 15. Well, 14 is almost halfway over. And we're certainly glad that Congress agreed on a budget, and the prospect of long-term sequestration is still with us and still a major threat to the development of future capabilities. Back in FY 12, we thought we would have $152 billion in FY 2014. The enacted budget only gave us a partial restoration to $122 billion. The difference between the projected and actual FY 14 Research Development Acquisition, or RDA, budget is a loss of $10 billion. Okay. 3 portfolios within the RDA make up over half of our RDA budget. That's aviation, mission command, and ground systems. Budget pressures means that the squeeze will be felt harder in these larger portfolios. we have had to make difficult decisions about our priorities. So let's talk about the strategy for our Army of the future. We have already reduced the procurement quantities to map into the reduced force structure size. We have garnered cost savings in multi-year procurement. For example, the second 5-year multi-year award in CH-47F Chinook in 2013 yielded a saving of $810 million for the Army. We have applied better buying power initiatives in contracting, in increasing competition, and establishing should costs. We have garnered savings in all of these initiatives. Matter of fact, just yesterday, I signed a memo giving the cost savings from PEO ground combat systems back to the PEO, back into the program, okay? So they can buy more equipment. Our equipment modernization strategy calls for strategic balance of what I think of as a 5-layered pyramid. The base of the pyramid is divestment. We need to accelerate divestment of aging systems that we no longer need to reduce operation and sustainment, or ONS, cost. For example, we divested over 30,000 trucks last year. We need to accelerate the divestment of other aging equipment that we no longer need but are sustaining. The next level up is reset and sustain to enable the near-term readiness for the next contingency. You've already heard a lot about this morning from General Vai. The middle layer of the pyramid is focused on modernization of existing platforms that's already maxed out in terms of size, weight, and power, and the need to enable network connectivity, as well as modernizing our aging systems that's been deferred due to our focus on the current conflict. I'm going to give you some examples of modernizing aging systems. The Paladin has high operating and sustainment costs, and we're replacing it with Paladin Integrated Management, or PIM. PIM will improve the suspensions, the chassis structure, and its electric gun drive. Its increased commonality of parts with Bradley will improve maintenance. This program successfully entered low-rate initial production last year. Replacing the legacy Humvee with Joint Light Tactical Vehicle will improve mobility and survivability for our soldiers. This is a highly successful program that's in EMD right now with 3 competitors. We plan to replace the aging M113 family of vehicles with the Armored Multi-Purpose Vehicle, or AMPV. In terms of incremental upgrades, we're also modernizing them to the existing platforms. A couple of examples I'll give you. On the Apache AH-64E, we're upgrading with a new airframe to improve the performance, to increase lift and altitude. We're increasing joint interoperability, as well as man-unmanned teaming. On Abrams, we're implementing engineering change proposals, commonly referred to as ECP. ECP-1 is upgrading the electrical power, the network upgrades, improving the armor, and introducing larger caliber ammunition. We're implementing ECP-2 to improve lethality by improving the commander's thermal viewer and gunner's primary sight with the next generation of forward-looking infrared. And we're increasing the energy efficiency through a transmission upgrade. The next layer of the pyramid is the development of new capabilities. This is where we are taking some risks. We will have to make some tough decisions on what will be good enough in the near term. As I mentioned earlier, 3 portfolios make up half of our budget. So any substantial cuts will necessarily be felt within those 3 portfolios. That said, we're still investing in new capabilities. We have developed new capability to enhance soldier performance. You saw the conformal batteries, the lightweight universal battery chargers, the integrated power and data systems. Integrated Battle Command System, or IBCS, will enable us to integrate stovepiped legacy air and missile defense systems to achieve a distributed, net-enabled operations. Joint air-to-ground missiles, JAGM, will enable us to counter moving targets. Excalibur and Precision Guidance Kit, PGK, provides significantly enhanced accuracy. Common IR countermeasures, or CIRCM, will provide protection against advanced IR threats. We continue to network our soldiers with Net Warrior, Rifleman Radio, Manpack, Mid-Tier Networking Vehicular Radio, also known as Maneuver, and Warfighter Information Network Tactical, or WINTI Inc. 2, to provide the on-the-move command and control and situation awareness. We're investing in operational energy to reduce our energy consumption. We have deployed Advanced Medium Mobile Power Source, or commonly known as AMPS, generators, with 21% better fuel efficiency, reduced noise and weight. We have developed solar shades, tent liners, doorways, and microgrids with 50% reduction in fuel consumption. We've recently deployed those systems into theater. The top of our pyramid is S&T, where we focus on the development of next-generation breakthrough technologies that define the Army of the future. These technologies include increasing lethality with disruptive energetic weapons. We're designing materials that will give us 10x the capability. We're increasing maneuverability with future vertical lift that can fly twice the distance as the helicopters of today with much greater fuel efficiency. We are enabling operations in a degraded visual environment and a contested environment. We have to be able to operate in a denied environment, and we're focusing on our S&T in those areas. Increasing force protection with lighter weight, stronger armor, multi-functional vaccines, regenerative medicine, next generation of chemical detectors to detect and identify non-traditional agents. We're increasing soldier performance with integrated, modular, mission-tailorable protection systems. We're eliminating tactical surprise with novel bio-inspired sensing, integrated multi-int processing, exploitation, and dissemination to the commander. I would like to briefly speak about the Army's organic and defense industrial base. As the top line decreases rapidly, we're facing resource challenges across the board. We have assessed the health of the defense industrial sector with OSD in the sector by sector, tier by tier, or S2T2 assessment. Our PEOs, PMs, as well as in collaboration with AMC, stay in close contact with our industrial partners and reports up to me at their PEO program reviews. We also have independent assessment that's performed by A.T. Kearney. We have initiated ECPs earlier to help to fill production gaps. We have slowed down production deliveries to prevent workforce furloughs. We have provided production funding to second-tier suppliers to mitigate critical production breaks. We have developed second-source suppliers for financially fragile suppliers. We have provided advocacy for foreign military sales with defense industry. In terms of the organic industrial base, General Vai, AMC Commander, and I have jointly initiated the Joint Acquisition and Sustainment Review, what's now called JASR, to highlight the problems that's faced by PEOs and our depots and arsenals, and to help us jointly manage the challenges across the material enterprise. It's a fantastic avenue for us to truly understand the challenges they are facing. In closing, we're navigating a very challenging period for our Army. The drawdown of forces is occurring during a period of dramatic fiscal constraint and budget pressure. We're leveraging this period to make the best investments possible, planting the seeds that will secure the Army of the future. Our predecessors faced similar challenges following previous conflicts. It's now our time. Our goal is to provide our soldiers the best capability possible. They deserve nothing less. Thank you. I'll be happy to take a couple questions if there are any. Let's see, okay. How can a small manufacturing engineering firm with a history of converting, adapting legacy military electronic equipment help something U.S. something? I can't read the final wording. Pardon? Help the Army. Army. Got it. Okay. Well, if you're a small business, we have small business forums. Army, across the DoD, I can tell you, does a fabulous job of funding small business as a prime. If you take a look at the last 5 years, we continuously increase our goal, okay, and continuously met our goal. About 26.5% of our budget goes to small business as a prime. So I highly encourage you to contact our small business advocates. I'll be happy to chat with you afterwards. I'm planning to be here all day today, as well as a half day tomorrow. So I'll be happy to discuss any additional questions you guys have as well.